Hi, I'm Matthew F. Fisher. I have a studio in Lower Manhattan, just off of Union Square. Why don't you come on in, we'll take a look. Hi, I'm Matthew F. Fisher. I'm based in New York City, particularly downtown Manhattan. I've been here for the better part of 23 years, going on 24 years. I have a studio in a basement somewhere in the East Village. I've always been interested in drawing and conveying imagery and making a story. It took a long way for me to kind of get to this, but ironically, it's the work that I'm making now that I wish I could have made when I was 22 in undergrad. Stylized landscapes with a certain smell of abstraction. They stem from everything and anything. A lot of it started from my desire to kind of think back to my childhood, but more recently I've been collecting books, old textbooks, old field guides that have illustrations in them, and I like to draw from those. And they often, almost always have drawings and not photographs in them, and I enjoy that because it's some way the work's already done, but it's also harder to figure out because there's less detail. So I kind of enjoy the idea of taking something with a little less detail and then just working it and making it have more detail. Almost like low res to high res. It's the simplicity of every day. It's a moment in time captured frozen. It's the perfectness of randomness. It's the idea that everything has an order, but we might not necessarily know it. And sometimes we imply that order, we make that order, and sometimes that order finds us. So there's this heightened sense of symbolism by the perfect placement of objects, of the relationship that those objects have, not only to other elements in the landscape, but also the edge of the canvas, which I think is very important. It's kind of both. I do a lot of sketches firsthand, just as a way to kind of record ideas that you might have in a fleeting moment. So here's a good example of kind of the beginning thoughts behind this painting of the two seahorses up here. You know, I kind of knew that I want two seahorses side by side. I wanted a rock and a horizon line with no beach. What happens is when you blow it up from this little thing, a little, you know, lo-fi definition to a hi-fi image, things change and things kind of get moved around. So ultimately, it's figured out on the canvas as the painting's being made, but the sketches are an important part to start that journey. All my paintings are acrylic paint on canvas over stretcher bars. They all are built up slowly through many, many layers, so it kind of gives them this feeling of density because they're created by hundreds, if not thousands, of layers of paint side by side. And then they all receive a UV filtering high gloss varnish that really pops the colors and kind of gives it full saturation and really heightens all the drama within the paint application. There's always a connection. You know, when you paint images, when you use objects in your like still lifes, there's always a chance for that to overlap. You know, I see the shell obviously as a symbol for not only a life, but like a house, a home. There's the growth, there's the protection, there's the living in it. So I really do feel like the beauty of using such universal imagery that it can be both personal and unique to everybody at the same time. One of the things that I wanted in the work, particularly selected for the show, was this idea of echo, of things repeating themselves within the canvases. Obviously with the two seahorses, you see that with the shell here almost being, you know, mimicked by the cloud above it. So I love this idea of the image being repeated directly and indirectly within each canvas. It was great working with Fanny and the whole team at C².